your camera so you can connect with our community. Hey Charlie, what's up? So yeah, just if you can turn on your camera, this is your time to really connect with everyone here, so might as well. And last thing, don't forget to grab a pen and paper because you know that there's going to be tons of gems of advice being provided here. So, woo, let's get started. Today's event will cover crossovers, how to find your target audience in foreign markets. As we can all probably agree upon, music is a universal language. Understanding how to expand your reach from your area and community throughout the world is a heavy feat. Luckily, we have an amazing panelist, and hopefully Alonso will join us as well, with experience doing just that. Oh, hey Alonso, what's up? So happy you're here.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hey. So, like I was saying, luckily we have two amazing panelists who have experience with the global markets and exploring that. So, with us today, I'm super glad to announce we have Jens the Guru and Alonso Sosa.
What's up,
Woo!
y'all?
Let's get some.
Hello.
What's up, everybody? Happy to be
What's
here.
up?
Thank you so much for being here. I wanted to ask you first, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your road in the music industry? Alonso, would you mind starting?
Yes, of course. Well, for the most part, I've been in the music industry in general, mostly working as a freelance A&R, mostly on the side of publishing, publishing A&R, um, working with managers, producers, individual producers, managers, labels. If they have an album or an EP in the works, or if they have and they need help with if they have material that's more if they have projects or artists that are in development in the works for film and TV, or for album or for album placements or song placements, for other artists' albums. Essentially, I go in and oversee the creative and technical aspects with finding engineers, booking sessions, assisting with production curation, if they are sampling songs or if they need some help, or just mostly doing like the general basic needs of the creative angle from a business mindset. And in the last 5 years, I've mostly exclusively have just been working in the film and television ad space, working with international artists and those creative teams that are based overseas, that do want to get into the American market, whether they're from Canada, Sweden, Denmark, France, the UK, Europe, and with the currently, especially with now with the pandemic going on, we're seeing a lot of sync request or or like a new alliance affiliations with brands and companies that do have an audience that is based in the US, and they are looking for international talent or anyone with an international sound but still has an American uh, familiarity or relatability, whether it's in the sound, the production, the songwriting, the vibe, and even of course at the end of it, like the image. So I essentially just go ahead and just find that talent and curate them and just over and just pretty much just help them out. So that's pretty much my day to day.
That's so cool. Thank you so much for sharing. Jens, can you tell us a little bit about yourself too?
What's up? Y'all can hear me, right? Okay, cool. So pretty much, I'm a digital marketer. Have a digital ad agency, JTG LLC, and pretty much we run paid advertising towards all types of industries, but mainly we focus on the entertainment industry. We work with a lot of the labels to bring awareness to content that artists release. I mean, but the part that's more exciting to me is when I work with up and coming artists, and we're taking up and coming artists from zero to a part where they have like a huge fan base and they're getting their record deals and they're putting, what I'm saying? So that's what I do for the most part. And I'm running on all ad platforms. So we're talking about Google, we're talking about the Facebook ad platform, Snapchat ad platform. We run on the TikTok ad platform, and currently we're experimenting with Traffic Junkie and running Pornhub traffic to music videos. You know what I mean? So if it's an ad platform, we running on it. You know what I mean? I've run on the Spotify app. Anything that has to do with paid advertising, that's pretty much what I do and what we do, whatever, because I don't believe in sitting back and waiting for the traffic to come for you to you. I don't believe in relying on favors from people at certain publications, stuff like that. Whatever, we're gonna get it in front of the people, and that's why I deal with paid advertising. So that's pretty much all I do. Anything that has to do with buying ad space and putting the content in front of the consumer directly. That's what I do. You know?
That's so cool. Like, seriously, the fact that you can take all of this and really provide a platform for artists who want that.
Right.
Um, and so, speaking about your roles a little bit, and you both touched on it, what does your day to day schedule look like a little bit more thoroughly? And how does that work in retrospect to like a global scale?
Well, man, day to day, my thing is all over the place because I wake up. First of all, when I wake up to a bunch of messages, text messages that I ignore instantly because I can't even get started if I get into all that, whatever. Then from there, I'm just checking in on campaigns that I already have running, tapping in with my assistants, whatever, to make sure that because the thing about campaigns are, running on paid advertising, it's not a set it and forget it type of thing. You're putting out fires, you're you're making sure things are running smoothly, and if something's running good, you gotta step in it every few days and optimize and make sure it's performing better. Um, and on a global scale, whatever, when we run our paid advertising campaigns, we're running to pretty much the whole global market, whatever. Because what I've realized in running paid advertising, USA and Canada is not enough to get it done. You know what I mean? Artists they want to be viral for the most part, and the biggest thing that we get from artists is, okay, I want all the traffic. I want to run strictly to USA. I want to strictly run to Canada, North America, whatever. But at the end of the year, when Spotify does their wrap up of who's listening to what countries, the best performing artists, they have 91 countries. So if you focus on that, you realize if you're focusing on just USA, Canada, you're not gonna cut through. You know what I mean? I had an artist where we pretty much before I used to dabble in running in other countries and other locations, whatever. But before, the main focus was on USA, Canada. And one day I decided to do an experiment. I was like, you know what? Let me look at the data. Let's see where most of the streams are coming from on these certain platforms. And I realized that certain countries, saying they're the bottom line for Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, all these places, whatever. So I was like, let me start incorporating them in the mix. And then we put it on this artist, and then boom, created a bidding war for this kid. Every label in America wanted him because they saw, okay, cool, USA is clicking, but look at all these other locations. We have a potential international star on our hands. So, yeah, man, that's really it.
That's phenomenal. So, so
Yeah.
cool. And Alonzo, what about you? Is there any relation to that as well?
A relation to that with my day to day, honestly, it's like for me, it's late nights, very early mornings, working and trying to get in communication with clients who are based overseas, who do fulfill the roles of like trying to see what's up in America, and just for example, like it's 12 right now. It's like 12 noon, and I know there's like people, there's no managers or artists based in like France or Sweden or the UK or even Denmark or just Europe in general that uh, you know wake up, see my emails. They want to know like what's popping on the charts in America. Is it the same as it is over there? Even if they are independent, what's the vibe out? And just you know again, it's just for me. My day to day really is just waking up, going to the emails, looking through the DMs, you know, looking to see what songs are being forwarded my way, and just seeing which feedback notes I have from the previous week or 2 weeks of just listening, and just pretty much just giving it my all at that point though, because I feel like now again, especially going back to what Jen said, especially now with this pandemic and with everybody pretty much being at home, um, especially what he says, like it's all about visibility now. It's about visibility and creating your own hype. So if you're a producer, a songwriter, an artist, or a manager, you want to do as much as possible to, if not so much get the numbers up, but to be seen and to make sure you actually have a whole world behind you of videos,
Mhm.
songs, and when I say content, I'm not talking like IG stories that stay up for 24 hours. I'm talking like things that promote your image, your sound, your style, your aesthetic, your taste, that has endurance and pulling power. Because just because something may have came out like 5 months ago or a year ago or 2 years ago or 5 years ago or 3 years ago doesn't mean it's old. Doesn't mean it's dated at this point. If we're talking just like songs or music, maybe a reproduction, a rewrite, a rebrand of the image. But having all that content and have all of that valued as an artist, staying up to date and just, the thing is now is that, to me, the big thing now is that, the things you can do to obtain an audience these days, or what he just said with the tools that he does, it's like, if you're someone that's trying to re-promote or rebrand or like sort of like make yourself visible outside of stuff like Instagram or Twitter or social or other social medias, I say like get all your social medias, invest in the right things to get you be seen with songs that are just your strongest, and just trying to fulfill that. I mean, so just going on from my day to day to like some advice, just because something was out like for a minute, and you think that audience that you got the first time with whatever marketing plan or business plan you get to be able to like acquire listeners or views, doesn't mean that you did the one time, so you're stuck with the audience that you have already. No, keep doing that. Keep doing that with your older stuff while you're making the newer stuff. Have someone out there and just be able to take initiative for yourself to be seen, and then eventually you will be heard. Though that I do feel like that will translate to viewership or listenership to the DSP, so your Spotify or SoundCloud or Apple or whatever. Most people use Spotify and SoundCloud and YouTube these days. So so focus on focus on those top three in terms of like your branding, your marketing, and pretty much your ads. And that's how I usually find new music. So and it goes beyond just typical New Music Friday. A good ad campaign on a song on any platform. That I found artists just like that. And so I think that's just something just to keep in mind when you're doing your promoting grind for the next quarter or so, when you finish an EP or a song, or the next album EP artistry cycle, because we all know how that works out with compared to independent artists and producers and writers versus like the majors.
Yeah, 100%. And I think everyone, please be taking notes. This is such great advice. You never know what you'll gain from these events. And that actually transitions perfectly into my next question. We have a lot of independent artists and producers within our collective and this community in general. Um, Going into a global market, there's a lot that happens. Where do they even begin starting? And Alonzo, you touched upon, platforms and everything, but what are the best ways for these independent rising artists and producers and creatives in general to find their market?
That's a tricky question because honestly, it is sort of like a case by case basis.
Mm-hmm.
For someone like me, when I find an artist to rap for film or TV, you know, for me, it's not so, for me, it's always about the songs. At the end of the day, songs and music is still king out of everything. Even with all the branding, the networking, and all the curation aside, a lot of that wouldn't be activated or be created if it wasn't for your song. So if it's like, for me, you know, I don't want to, touch or mess with anything unless it's like it may look good, it might feel good on the gram or on the views or the videos, but I won't really mess with it unless it's really good, unless it's good music. I think nowadays, with the audiences, also the people's minds, sort of like in the last like 5 years, like sort of going attention span. I can see why people have to like network and brand and do like sort of campaigns, like have their songs or stuff heard. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to good or great music. I mean, obviously, on the technical level, on the business level, yes, you want to keep things small. You want to keep things intimate. You want to find that niche within, secure that niche, and focus on, the international, the American markets, and focus on what will work. But just know that if you have a marketing plan that works, make sure behind that you're pushing a song that you like, that you know is the strongest, and focus on having two, three, four, five singles, and eventually like a full EP or even like a mini album along the way for that whole year or 2 years, to fulfill that. Because again, because again, going back to what I said, that because of the pandemic, with everyone still being indoors, and even though with live touring not really being a thing at the moment, you have really nothing to lose with just like focusing your time, in the online world, making sure that your stuff is being heard, everything's mixed, mastered, and just prepped. Because now, you know, people are, especially now with TikTok being the main thing, and and that's a whole other thing I have my own opinion on that, but I feel like now label, if we're talking about trying to get like I mean, at the end of the day, it depends on your goal. Like, what are you trying to have enough streams or have enough views or have enough fans to either do a live show or get enough or you can like get to that plateau where you can like get a small payout from streaming services to pay a bill. It really depends on what is your goal as an artist, as a producer, as a songwriter. Do you want to get like a publishing deal? Do you want to get a record deal? Like, what is the overall goal as a working class independent artist, and anybody that's working independent in like roles that could be outsourced or be picked up by a label or a manager, or get representation for film and TV, or receive or get funding from an investor. Like, it really depends on what you're trying to do what you're trying to do at the end of the day with your artistry and with your creative labor power. Because right now, I mean, just to give you some tips. I mean, I'll give you some insight. A lot of the law labels, trying to get like let's say a record deal. A lot of labels, especially in America, that I know a lot of people like want to, say like boohoo, we want to stay away from them. If you're good and if you're pro like that, if you do have the numbers and your marketing plan is visible, A&Rs will seek you out. And it's so like the goal is like, do you want to get a record deal for say, nowadays record labels, they don't want to do artist development anymore. They don't want to do branding and marketing anymore unless it's for like an artist or even just for a song that they can push in a certain market. So it's like, so if you're an artist that's coming in America, but you have a huge presence in like, the Middle East or in France or in parts of Europe that maybe they already have like songs or artists over there in place, but maybe you're coming there from a different angle. I know artists that, so there we go. That's the example of like, what can you do for a label with what you've done already, the value that you bring as an artist, and with the team that you have around you. And I feel like now, again, with the pandemic and everything being shut down or so close or opening up, people are waiting for new music. And I think that the timing is just so divine for everyone at this point, whether it was during that first year, during the first 7 months of the initial quarantine, if you can even call it that, to like what's going
Mm-hmm.
on right now. You really have nothing to lose with just making sure your music is up to snuff, making more
Sure.
songs, better music, better artistry, better business plan, better marketing plan, trying to secure funding, and just taking your time with it. Because it takes it's still like, I feel like for the most part everybody in this chat room, if you're a working class artist or producer or manager or whatever you do
Mm-hmm.
in this industry, I mean, what we're doing is a commitment. We're looking, it's
Exactly.
so to me, and labels know that. So honestly, just taking your time, prepping out the songs, getting yourself a schedule, getting a routine, keeping your circle small, and just really just knowing when the time when the time is hot, when the iron is hot, to just release your songs and just fulfill your duties, and then just making sure that the right people will follow, the right people will come back, the right people will continue to seek you out. So that's just
100%.
yeah,
And commitment, routine,
yeah.
all of these practices that really do just help us continue building that.
Mm-hmm.
That's great insight. And thank you so much for sharing, Alonzo. Jen, so what about you? Do you have any insight for any creative wanting to expand and um, find their way into a different market?
Well, I'll say this. Alonzo hit it right on the head, right? Everybody wants to talk about going viral or marketing and this and that, whatever, but it really, really starts with like having a song, having a record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we'll have people that will market whatever, and then they'll hit their metrics that they're looking for, whatever. But it's always going to be 4 times expensive. If you have a record that works and the music is actually there and the branding is the official, the music video quality looks good and all that, you know what I mean? It's going to be so much inexpensive to get what you're looking out of these platforms. You know what I mean, because a lot of people don't know on the paid advertiser side, the main goal is to leave somebody on the platform, keep somebody on the platform. So if you're running campaigns in a way that keep people on the platform longer, they'll drop your cost and expand your reach. This is on every single ad platform. You know what I mean? Initially, it was on the Facebook ad platform, but every other ad platform is starting to copy that. You know what I mean? And what keeps people on the platform is good content. You know what I mean? Now, as far as finding your audience, the audience that works for you, whatever, you could do simple things where, because every one of these platforms, for the most part, they're based off of interest, whatever, you know what I mean? Or like, I guess Google is keyword driven for the most part. So a place where a lot of you artists can start, you know what I mean? The beginning parts of a campaign is, where where you're running the similar artists, or you're running the similar keywords of people who have similar sound towards you, like sound that you have, whatever. And then, you do that enough, whatever, you get a big enough audience size that's seen this content, and now you can start retargeting or remarketing to those audiences, whatever. You know what I mean? But honestly, real talk, the content is going to create your audience for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The content carves out your
Yep.
audience for you. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can I say, like, paid advertising will put you in front of people who are looking for you, or the people who are looking for your content, whatever. But at the end of the day, it does two things. When you're putting yourself in front of these people, it's going to push the people away from you who don't want you, but it's also going to pull the people who identify with you closer to you. You know what I mean? So in my mind, in my opinion, what I've seen is the content, because when you start running long enough, and you start removing like the initial layer of, okay, we're going to similar artists and similar things, whatever. And when you start going like broad, like whatever, and you start scaling out, whatever, at that point, you're creating your audiences as you're going. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not a situation where, we're tapping in people who are looking for this, whatever. Now we're running the ads, and we're convincing people who didn't even know they were interested in this, whatever. So at the end of the day, it still comes back to the content, because the content is what's going to convert those people who didn't know that they were looking for this piece of thing that you're putting in front of them. So,
Then,
yeah.
are y'all taking notes? Because these are gems of advice being provided. Snaps to you both. Well, awesome. Thank you so much. And I mean, going into that and trying to understand that, um, you know, are there any trends that you've noticed within global music or like within these global markets? For instance, for me, I've noticed that Latin music is blowing up and
Right.
K-pop, unreal.
Oh, yeah.
So how should artists be ready to go into that from a different market? Or should they even just stay in their lanes and be like, I'm going to wait until I hit that level of commercial readiness? What are your
I'll say
thoughts?
this. I'll say this. There's certain places that, if your music pops in those areas, there's a likelihood you might have a record on your hand. Um, I know for a fact, like one artist, Justin Rari, who I got like a little crazy situation for, whatever. It was actually initially running ads to the Latin market, Brazil, that actually, like, it was funny how it worked, because literally that campaign, like, you just saw everything moving up the East Coast, whatever. Like, it was moving like north, basically, and it started from Brazil, but for whatever reason, the traffic trickled over and eventually got to a point where it drove the traffic from Brazil. Maybe it dropped the cost on other places, whatever, and then it pushed it eventually to North America. And that was insane. Like, that's when I realized, okay, there's a lot of power inside of, like, running to the Latin market if you have a record that really works for the most part to me. And Philippines is a good area too. Yeah. I'm hearing also, like, when I started doing the research, I saw that certain places, whatever, like in these Latin places, their phone plans come with like the streaming services for free. So basically, I just assume that they just stream more than the average person, whatever. And I've used a lot of those markets, those areas, whatever, to drive traffic and create momentum to run into other places, whatever. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Alonzo, is there anything that you'd like to add to that?
I think with that being said, just honestly, all of this wouldn't be happening without great music and strong
Right.
songs. The
Right.
audience,
That too.
the audience are really receptive to great sounding music,
Mm-hmm.
spacing, writing. So I think if we're talking from the creative angle, approach, if we're trying to reach a global audience, remember this though, much of the international audience, English is not their second language.
Right.
They have to think a little bit. Even in countries that you think are very advanced and high working, it takes a minute to turn that off, to turn that
Right.
on and off. So if you actually listen, so when they're listening to English music or songs, we're looking for hooks, verses, or vibes. But if you are coming from like a singer-songwriter type of aesthetic type of vibe, make the production the hook, make the production, a vibe. Get that, get spacing, because they will hear that. The audience that maybe is more smarter than the average whomever in that country, they will also just like, they're like indie kids or like, hipster kids. They want to hear something that's like sounding fresh and vibe and aesthetic pleasing. So look at someone like an artist like Seb Deliza. She's like, she's from the Netherlands. She's Iranian background. She has an international background, but her music is very similar to what you hear on Adult Swim in America. That type of production. And there's that new and people like artists like Snow Allegra. People in America look at her. She's the new Sade, but even though she's like Swedish Iranian, so it's kind of like, at this point, if you're an artist and you're a producer and you're backing a talent that does have that sort of like vibe and look that an international audience sort of grew up with, that whether it came from America or came from overseas, know this: people who are based international, they love something that looks like them or feels like them and can have sort of a vibe and energy with them in their songs, their writing, how they speak, how they talk, how they act and behave. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people really don't really focus on, because it's usually looked at as like a cliche thing, but like, image, style within your branding and within your sonic writing as a creative, that's something that can really uh, at least break out the be able to break through some noise over there, because you have a better shot of breaking through that barrier and breaking through that noise overseas if you're based in America than you're like based over there trying to do what we're talking about over here. Because you'd be surprised how many artists or how many creative teams that are based overseas, that do come from countries that do make international sounding songs and music, that in the last 20, 30 years have like a big moment in America, but then like one hit wonder, or nowadays like one vibe wonder that you would never know of. And I feel like nowadays that principle, even in this era that we're in going forward, that's still valid though. So it's like, for me, it's just taking that, and it's taking that in mind into your philosophy, into your structure, to your day to day, when you're prepping those campaigns and making those songs. Like, what is the audience that really wants to hear this type of music? That I can get with my marketing plan, but even afterwards, if I'm targeting overseas or targeting America, like, who's the audience? Who's the kid that lives or works overseas, that's coming from this type of background, that want to hear this type of music, they hear that type of production, hear that type of sound, hear this type of look. What kind of story do they come from? And to me, I feel like being authenticity, being real, being deep, but also still being, still thinking commercial and still being viable, not so much to be, have the biggest smash on radio or be on New Music Friday. No, it's to like to appeal to the people that are coming up or have grown up the way you did. People like that. People like that. And that's really what's going to separate you, to get you an audience that will, buy your product, buy your songs, stream your videos, go add you on the DSPs, add you those playlists. And I feel like if you're operating from a system of truth and a strong sense of self, and you're doing that while you're working out the creative space and doing your business thing and your financial thing, however you choose that, people will catch on. And that's key, like authenticity and integrity over everything and anything. I know that sounds really hard and that sounds really cliche, and definitely in the music industry where things are very cutthroat, that just sounds like a lot of bull, because there are a lot of people in the industry, especially in America, even overseas, that say that but don't really do that. But if you're working from a purist standpoint, you will be able to make money, you will be able to get an audience, and you will find um, people that will stick by you, that's deeper than just having like 5,000 followers on Instagram or 5,000 ads on FB or this type of connection. Because honestly, people want to relate to something that's real, that feels like them, and that touches like them, and that looks like them in a way. And I mean, looks like them, I'm talking like how they're, look, I'm talking about the music, the songs, you know. And I feel like that's what's really key out of all of this, because you're selling an emotion at the end of the day. You're selling a reaction. You're not, because it goes. You're not selling a brand at the end of the. You're not selling. I mean, you're selling a brand and image and style. That's important though. But at the end of the day, you're selling. If we're talking about the business of music and songs, people want to hear the songs at the end of the day. People are going to listen with the ears, not their eyes.
Exactly.
So
Y'all, I'm not sure if you guys are here taking notes, but y'all definitely should be, because I come to things like this. All I'm looking for is one nugget, one little nugget, whatever. I buy courses, sometimes it costs thousands of dollars. I'm looking for one jewel that could change everything. And what he said was so true. It's like, because I remember now that video that we had that was going crazy in Brazil. A lot of the people actually thought that he came from Brazil. They thought he was a Brazilian
Mm-hmm.
artist because we had certain things in there, like it just looked like it damn it could have been in the ghettos of Brazil, the way it was
Mm-hmm.
shot and all that, whatever. So
Yeah.
it's like now that's clicking to me, like, oh man, yo, I'm about to definitely other campaigns I got moving forward. I'm definitely gonna try to incorporate like other things from other cultures within the video to make it like move a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? And even I had another artist. He was actually and he ended up signing with RCA, and he was a Saudi Arabian kid, or whatever. And but the song was in Spanish, ironically. So he's a Saudi Arabian, whatever. But the song was in Spanish, whatever. But in that, he had it like all types of like Saudi Arabian, like culture in the video, whatever. So when we ran to that market, it went crazy as well, too, whatever. So, that's interesting, yeah. Okay, thank you for that.
I
Yeah.
think that's what's perfect about this platform is that we're all learning and growing together. Like this is why we're here, you know?
Yeah.
So thank you both for your insight and everything. I just have a couple more questions for you. And you started to touch upon this, especially Alonzo. Um, what challenges have you faced while trying to work in these global markets? Whether that's language barriers or cultural differences, what has that been like for you?
Um.
Honest.
Now I'll let you go first, and let's go.
Okay, I'll go. So honestly, the biggest thing is time management. I mean, I'm based in the East Coast because I'm more closer international. So when it's like 12 p.m. here, it's like 6 p.m. Over there in certain countries though. Or if I'm up, it's like 11 a.m. here. It's like 5 or 4 or 3 over there. So it's like it really is like it's an endurance test to stay up and be able to like fulfill booking meetings, booking a session, or being able to book some sort of conversation. That's the tricky part though, because you know if it's that, or English being a second language, maybe having a translator on with me sometimes, because you know or making sure that email has all the details, all the notes translated in some cases, because maybe the manager might speak English, but the producer or talent may not so much, or it's like broken, but they still know what I'm saying. So being able to talk slow and be present, that's a big thing. It's a lot of ESOL out there if you're trying to do business over there or operate over here. So I won't lie to you, time management and language acquisition and just being able to like actually sell your message and sell your idea and be able to be ready at all times. That's the tricky thing, especially because just like anywhere else, everyone's time is money, time is precious, or time is potential money. So you have to like really be present and be ready to just pick up that phone, have everything charged, and be up and at 'em near a computer. I mean, my setup is in my bedroom. It's also in my office too, or even it's like my place. That's when I go out of state, I have a setup over there to talk and do sessions. But I almost exclusively always base myself out of the East Coast, just because, again, with the pandemic and with how things are now, it's like you really have nothing to lose, because everyone's day to day is going out, because especially now with how countries are operating now. People have to be, there's curfews in some places, so people have to be in at 6 or in by 7, and so you want to catch them while they're just coming back, or they're 1 hour or 2 they're coming back in. And to me, especially since that's becoming a more thing now, it's it's a bit of a grind. I'm not gonna lie. It gets really exhausting because, you know, things are opening up in some places. So, but maybe things aren't opening up in your home states for whatever the reason might be. So it's like, being mindful that, your clients and friends, your creative partners over there, they might be on vacation while you miserable and stuck in the house and stuff. So it's kind of like a little emotional thing. At least with me, it's like I've had moments of like, you know what? They're on vacation. I'm doing all this hustling. Why am I doing this for? Why am I putting all my time and money in this? Why am I exhausting myself? But at the end of the day, it comes down to passion. It really does come down to just passion for the long nights, the early mornings, gain a couple of pounds because you're behind the computer all the time. You're eating like crap, you're talking crap, you're doing all this stuff. But trust me, you're not the only one that's doing that. You're not, you're not the only one that's going through these type of experiences that we're experiencing in America with a day-to-day and a routine that is mostly indoors now, or only going to like traveling to a different state or a different city every now and then, like daily. Every country has their version of BMI, ASCAP, and they can't really do they can't do like showcases or networking events all the time anymore, or some of those are even gone or even like never even existed in the first place. So it's all about just network. So just really being keen to your network, making it small, and targeting who you want to engage with, and knowing like how much are you willing to sacrifice, whether when no one's making anything but you all have talent and have value, how much time you're willing to stay up. When do weekends become weekdays? I mean, this
Yeah.
right now most of my weekends are like work days for me at this point. Even though I am taking a break and sort of reevaluating myself and validating my time with what I'm going through, I'm still
Right.
making sure that I'm refreshing all of my contacts, creative clients, potential business clients, ad clients, networking clients, corporate clients, people that I have already, and seeing who I can else get new, so that by the end of this summer, or even like the end of this year or next year, I have a whole fresh creative list, contact
Mhm.
list, client list to present to my company or whoever I'm working with at the moment. But just know
Yeah.
this: you're not the only one that thinks that way or that's operating like that. And I think it's just really key to just keep going, especially because let me tell you something: the audience that you're trying to get to listen to your music or seek you out, they're always going to be there. I know it just looks like it just looks like numbers on the screen or YouTube or Instagram or SoundCloud. It doesn't look real. And sometimes, listen, in some cases labels can tell when it's not real. I'll say that to bots and stuff. But if you really are, but the initial audience that will view or stream your song, they will always be there with you. Granted, it may not be, a million followers or a million streams not equate to $1 million or fans coming to your shows. Ha ha ha. I mean, that's the truth. But if you're doing things right and pure from the jump, you will have an audience that will be ready to see you at these places. Because at the end of the year, when you get that, like, who's heard you or who's seen you or the metrics and stuff, and look at the data,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, I have a whole audience over there, so I can try to consider book a show over there if I can. Or
For sure.
I have art, I have talent, I have people that have heard my music and seen my stuff through this ad or through this space, and they've seen it over there now. And the
Yeah.
YouTube video where my song is at, that's been linked to my YouTube, my social media, or whatever, has like more views now. And look at the comment
Right.
section. You'll see comment sections will say like, "Oh, I heard this. Oh, I heard this on this show, and I'm from Brazil. I'm from America. Greetings from
Right.
Germany. Greetings
Right.
from Minnesota. Greetings from like Wisconsin. Greetings
From
from
all
Canada."
over.
Like those
You never
comment
know.
sessions for your songs, if done right, are real. Those are your audiences. So go on the computer, go on the comment section, engage, make that small poll, but only do that when you're doing things right. Don't feel like you have to do that every single time, but do it when you meet that own personal mental threshold of views and numbers and streams that work out for you. Doesn't have to be a whole lot. It has to be
Right.
steady and upper and enough and high and enough. But to the point where you're getting comment sections and people are like commenting or responding in some way,
Right.
focus
Right.
on those. Mention to follow you or add you or request you in some way, and just start building that fandom. And then
Yeah.
the next time you do the next song or next EP, next round, things will get bigger and bigger and bigger year by year, because at the end of the day, it is a
Exactly.
commitment to do music. And a lot of times you're not going to make any money at all from the jump. Let's just get that out of the way. You're not going to make any money for a minute. You're not going to make enough money from for a minute, but it's about getting an audience that will respond back to your music, to your artistry, to your grind, to your
Right.
hustle. If you're trying to make it as an artist, or if you're a producer or songwriter, you're trying to make yourself look valuable to get a publishing deal, or get management, or get like or fulfill that EPK when you're pitching to yourself to an email, and you have your main pitch email with all your links and all your credentials, all your views and streams on one sheet. To keep adding to that to make it better year by year,
Exactly.
especially if you're trying to get any representation of any kind. It's about, you can do a lot now to add value to yourself, where when things are ready and those big opportunities will come, if you do it right, you'll be prepared, you'll be ready, you'll have like the right
Exactly.
numbers, the right look, but also at the end of the day, the right songs, the right music.
Exactly.
And trust me, there are people working in this industry who, believe it or not, are low-key operating from a place of pure love of music, taste, and of course, viability, because at the end of the day, this has to make money, of course, but there are people who are seeking out something that is different, and those people are out there, you know, and you
Exactly.
just have to fight hard to seek them out. I know that sounds really out there. It sounds a little extra, but it's true. Like, you know, for me, you know, I got into this little meat space because, you know, Kat seeked me out because she saw what I've done. And stuff that I've done has come from like a 5, 10 year, 15 year grind. And only in the last 2 years has anything ever even happened for me that I could say was real and tangible in any shape, way, or form. So that just goes to tell you that from my angle, working on for what I do in the business, it is a commitment, and it's going to take a minute, especially if you're making music that is not so much, that does have an audience, but it's not of trend. People are looking for Drake. We're looking for The Weeknd. We're talking about Rihanna for no reason. We're talking about Eminem and his daughter for
Right,
no
right.
reason. We're all obsessed with stuff that has nothing to do with music, okay?
For
Because
sure.
but there's an audience that is looking for music that isn't like that, you know. And I feel like you just
And
have to keep going and just keep going. And
exactly.
it's gonna take a minute, but just make sure you have your songs, your EP, an album. Make sure you have a catalog in those 2, 3,
Exactly.
5 year journey, 10 year journey. If you're committed to making solid music year by year or however you like to operate,
Mhm.
make sure you have the whole back catalog where people can check you out. Make sure your Bandcamp is
Exactly.
up to snuff. Make sure your
And
SoundCloud is up to par. Make sure your YouTube videos are all curated and all organized, you know, and make
exactly.
all that preparatory work. You keep operating as if you're coming from nothing each time, and to me, that is what's going to give you an audience. That's what's going to give you value to an industry that's all about, you know, finding what's next or what's trendy, but maybe not so much trendy for the reasons that you might think. Especially
And
now, again, with how
mhm,
things are operating now, you know, your
this
artists
is
who are getting picked up and being signed or
right.
getting representation of any kind from doing things that are at least far to the left or just different
Right. And this is
ish. And
all
sometimes that ish is more than enough when you
right.
have a good plan behind you to back it up. And
Yes.
just
This
keep
is
going.
yeah, this
You know?
is great, Alonzo. And I actually wanted to check in with Jens on his advice as well. Jens, what challenges have you faced and how have you overcome that in the global market?
Well, you know, what I dealing with paid advertising, it's not like I deal with people directly, whatever. As far as like in foreign places, whatever, I'm just pushing the
Hmm.
content in front of them, you know. But once again, it comes down to the music because music is universal. So
For sure.
people, wherever they're gonna be able to pick up on if the record is good or not. And actually, I'm in the middle of signing a Spanish trap rapper myself, and I don't understand what the hell he's saying, like because I don't speak Spanish, but I know that the music feels good, the vibe is there, so I'm willing to pick him up and invest and take this thing to the next level. You know, also running paid advertising to these places, whatever, it takes more optimization because what happens is like, you know, the cost of traffic in the USA is more expensive than other locations where you're going to get traffic for cheap. You know, saying running in these international places, whatever. So what can happen is if you're running a campaign and you're not optimizing right, these other places can suck up all your traffic. You know what I mean? So how I run the campaigns, I want to have all these locations have a fair shot or get the fair amount of visibility. But if you're running in like let's say Philippines, whatever, like or Philippines or Mexico, they'll suck up all your traffic to the point where only people in Philippines and Mexico are seeing the traffic, whatever. So it takes more
Mhm.
optimization on that end, whatever. Um, also, you, I've had a few cases where like certain people they'll probably like take records from like um, other locations, whatever, from those cultures and try to do remakes and stuff like that. And what I've seen is for whatever reason, if the record isn't like it got to be super, super, super amazing for them to embrace it, whatever, because they, for the most part, they get offended. You know what I mean? And you'll get in the comments, they don't understand it. It's almost like they don't understand the concept of remix, or maybe they do. They get what remixes are, whatever. But you'll get a lot of he stole this record from this person. He stole this record. He stole that record, whatever. So
Right.
those are some of the things. But the main thing I've noticed, like I said, is the optimization, whatever. You just got to be on top of the campaigns more because these other places, being that the traffic is cheaper, the platforms will look at that as okay, well, they just won't give it a fair shot. So you got to segment your campaigns in a way that, almost separate them so that, saying each place can get a fair amount of visibility. So that's what
Yeah.
I've come across
Right.
online, running globally.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank
There's
you
a lot
so,
of
so much for your
a lot
insights.
of
We'll head into our audience Q&A. So this is the time for you all to ask the questions that you've had. If you can just use the um, raise hand feature under reactions, that would be great. And then I'll call on you and you can ask your questions. I know that someone had a question earlier on. I think it was Bipolar. You had a question about specific markets. Did you want to ask that again? If I remember correctly. Any questions for anyone? Let me scroll through because it was a great question. Oh, it was actually Planet 419. They asked, what are specific strategies that working class artists can utilize, especially on a global scale, Africa, Latin America, as well as the UK and North America?
What I well, I'm just gonna say, run ads, bro. It's that
Right,
simple.
exactly.
Run ads and you'll hit them, whatever. I'll say this, right? I tell people this all the time, and very people do this and can benefit from and get the benefit from it, whatever, right? Aside from running your ads to your music video, because obviously music videos work. Music videos to me are like a commercial, you know what I'm saying? So you obviously got to have campaigns running to your music videos. And that's cool, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we're used to seeing commercials. We're used to seeing commercials. So it gets to a point where that just becomes white noise in a sense, whatever. And what converts better than a music video? And I'm not telling you guys don't have a music video because you need a music video, but live performances convert better than music videos. I mean, and when I say live performance, I don't mean go to a venue and have a bunch of people come out, whatever. I mean, whip out your phone, point the camera towards you, and do a performance of your record. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you're prime example, the Saudi Arabian kid, whatever, right? Man, we used to jack, his follow, this is a growth hack for getting followers on social media, whatever, right, all he used to do was sing, not even a whole song, 30 seconds, whatever, or maybe 15 seconds, a segment of a verse, whatever, play the acoustic guitar, whatever, you know what I'm saying, and then we run ads, whatever, to that. Goes crazy, you know what I mean? And on top of that, when you do something like as a rapper, just be in the studio, have your music playing in the background, do like a little performance, whatever. And when you shoot this type of thing, do not be an idiot and hire a professional videographer. You have to do it from your phone. It has to look authentic. It has to feel real, whatever. You know what I mean? And when you run ads to that, that will convert like crazy. You know what I mean? Because it's almost authentic, whatever. You know what I mean? And we did that with the Saudi Arabian kid, whatever, and we ran obviously to Saudi Arabia. We ran to the, let's say, the Spanish market. We ran global, whatever, and that just converted like crazy. It makes people feel like they identify with you more, and your followers will grow if your song is. And lots of times your song don't even gotta be super fire, whatever. It's just the realness of it. It's almost like when you're on a train in New York, whatever, and somebody comes on the train and they got their hat for the money, and they start performing, whatever. You'll still give them your attention, even though you're not there for that, whatever. You're trying to get to work, you're trying to do whatever, but this is somebody that's demonstrating a talent. And if they do something, even if you're not trying to zero in on that, but if they do something super talented, you'll give them attention, you'll give them your time. So it's the same thing, running paid advertising. I mean, that's a strategy that up-and-coming artists can do that's relatively inexpensive. I've taken somebody, like even a rapper, whatever, we got running his videos. We've done that strategy, and we've taken from 10,000 followers to over 50,000 followers in short amount of time, whatever. You know what I mean? So that's a strategy you guys can use immediately.
Nice. Thank you for that. Kaylee, do you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Kaylee. I'm a dark pop artist. So I am Portuguese. Both my parents were born in Portugal and then came here and then had me. So I speak Portuguese. I don't write so well, but I do have like other family members who are really great at writing and like offered to help me write Portuguese songs. However, I feel like Portugal is something that gets very confused between like Brazil and also like Hispanic cultures and stuff like that. So I've been like kind of confused as to how, like to stay Portuguese, but also like not be like, because at the same time, Portugal is very small. So if I'm going to market to other countries, I feel like more Latin countries would be better. So just kind of wondering what your experience is, if any, with like Portugal and like that kind of music scene.
Well, why would you want to like, I mean, what's the difference? I mean, question is why would you want to leave Brazil out the mix, or why not just include them anyway? Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm
it,
sorry. What do you mean?
no, you're saying that you want to do Portugal, but you want to. Did you say you want to leave Brazil out the mix? Because I know they speak Portuguese too.
Oh, no,
Oh.
no, no.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is more like a lot of times people get confused or don't even know what Portugal is.
Yeah.
Right, I got you. Okay.
Right.
Okay, they don't even know what Portugal is. I mean, I would just if I was running to okay, cool. So what I would do is Portugal is in Spain, right?
No, it's next to
Does it?
Spain.
It's
Oh.
next to Spain. It's next to
Yeah,
Spain.
see?
But I don't know.
See, there we go.
I
I could honestly, maybe I can answer that. I can answer this. I work with artists who aren't from Portugal, but they use a lot of like Portuguese type of sounds in their production. So I think if we're talking like in terms of like wanting to maybe like you know. I think more to like in your taste of music and your sounds, like maybe like you know to express certain maybe not so much people know your roots are from Portugal, but they'll know. The right people will know. Focus on your sound. This is one of those things where it comes like production, sound curation, spacing with your music. That's something that people can recognize. You know, maybe like add some, you know, a Portuguese to lyric or some sort of you know add write a lyric or hook in Portugal and add that, do the whole like Spanglish thing that a lot of people do. I mean, look at someone like Anita. She speaks like you know 3 or 5 languages. She's speaking Portuguese in one part of a song, English in one song, and doing all of this. And again, and granted, she's like extremely big in pop, but I bet no one has done that in your world. I bet doing a dark pop, adding like haunting, sort of like Portuguese sort of sung lyrics only in the first verse or somewhere in the hook in the pre, and then in the rest is in English though, and then make that into a song. I mean, even someone like Bjork, she has in one of her songs. Hyoga, Joga, she's there's a whole outro where she's speaking in Icelandic, you know, that sounds like optimum care. So there's an example of someone who's doing completely English, but then there's some element of it that production sonics very Icelandic, very epic, but also if we're talking like language and her saying something near the end of the song, you hear her say, you know, what I don't know what she says, but like she's using like she's adding a lyric that is of her native tongue. So stuff like production, doing stuff like that, can help bring, you know, the if you're doing your marketing thing, you're marketing over there or over here, people will pick up on that. So that's an example. So hope that.
Also, on the ad side of things, I would obviously, I would have to lean on the language. You know what I mean? So you speak Portuguese, whatever. So in the target, I would basically run it to people who speak, saying Portuguese to pull them out, whatever. But I got another funnel for you that's so crazy. Somebody, because I got a course called Viral Tribe Masterclass, whatever, and I basically teach people how to run the ads exactly like me, whatever. And what's in this class, whatever, you know, I also learn from my students too. So a guy came to me with a funnel that was so, you know, saying left field, whatever, but it works like crazy, right, yo? So what you would do is this: no music at all in this ad, whatever. It would just be you, and you would say this in Portuguese, whatever. Like, my name is such and such, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm an up and coming music artist, entertainment, whatever, and I make music similar to this artist, similar to this artist, similar to this artist. And if this sounds like something you'd be interested in, follow me and let me send you some music, whatever. No music at all, but that shit converted like crazy. He filled up a whole Facebook group. He created a whole Facebook group, and they didn't hear a lick of music, but they got that message, whatever, and it pulled them towards him, whatever. And then they signed up to the Facebook group, and then he basically gave them music and then sold them all merch. You know what I'm saying? So without even hearing music, they bought merch. And so that's something you could do too. Just say it in Portuguese, like, yeah, my name is Bob. This is what I sound similar to this. I sound like this. If these are artists that you are a fan of, whatever, then follow me and check out the music, whatever. So that's a quick little hack that works like crazy.
Thank you both so much.
No doubt.
I would just like to echo Justine's sentiment. I am also ready for Kaylee's Portuguese album. So, and so Lavelle, did you want to ask your question?
Yes, I have 2 questions. I'm a marketer. Hello, everyone. So I want to know, what are the top 5 platforms to run ads, and should artists invest in influencer marketing?
Okay, boom, right? The best platforms to run ads on are, in my opinion, are Google, Facebook, and I don't use 5, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I literally use heavily most of my traffic. Like last year, we spent over 7 figures in paid advertising, and 75% of that went towards Google, only because Google is the big stage, you know what I'm saying? and then a big huge chunk went to the Facebook IG, mainly running on the Instagram ad platform to push towards Google. I mean, and then we also had Snapchat ads running too, and we would run that to Google as well, run to a smart link for the most part. I mean, Snapchat to me is a slow burn, but that thing, man, if you run it long enough, the momentum that it creates, whatever, that's why I like it, whatever. But to me, obviously, Google is the big stage, so it gets the bulk of the traffic, whatever. I mean, but to me, the best ad platform there is, in my opinion, is the Facebook side, whatever, because you know what I mean. If people are loving the content, they'll significantly drop your cost, and it can create basically it can manufacture viral basically if the content is good enough for the most part. That's why I like that platform. But with that being said, Google is the big stage, and you got to get shit rocking on YouTube. So that's you definitely got to have that in the mix. Now, as far as like Twitter has an ad platform, I don't like it because it takes too much micromanaging. You know what I'm saying? So those are the main three platforms I stick with. Now, influencer marketing, it can work. But the problem, here's how people fuck up with influencer marketing. They'll do it one time and they'll think that it's enough, whatever. If you're gonna do an influencer, first of all, I don't even like influencer marketing because at the end of the day, I feel like you're paying somebody to build their platform. You know what I'm saying? Wow, when you're using paid advertising, you're paying to build your own platform. You know what I mean? You'll run ads, you'll get the subscribers on your thing, you'll get the likes, the stream, it'll come to you. But with influencer marketing, you're basically paying them to build their platform. So that's why I don't like it, whatever. But if somebody's going to do it, you got to be prepared to hammer them, basically. You know what I'm saying? So it can't be like there's a page, Say Cheese, where a lot of rappers post whatever, and they'll post on Say Cheese. They'll do it one week, whatever. They'll do it for one day, whatever, and then they'll stop. If you're gonna be on Say Cheese, you need to make sure you have a post on there once a week so people get familiar with you. So it's just like the ads. The ads, they run nonstop and keep you in front of people, keep you visible, whatever. On those platforms, when you're using other platform, whatever, they have to see you consistently. Then they'll start recognizing. So if I'm doing Say Cheese or I'm doing WorldStar, whatever, I'm gonna make sure that I got to post on there at least once a week for a good 12-week period. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel like it would come together with the influencer marketing. But some people say I'm biased because I'm more so with the ads, whatever. But I'm a fan of something that automates my marketing so that I can get into the other things. Okay, cool. Let me do the influencer thing now. Let me do this radio interview here. Let me do Spotify playlists because I know I got the ads automating my marketing. And no matter what is happening, I have something that's putting my message out in front of people regardless. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
No doubt.
We'll take one more question. Lottie, go ahead.
Hi, thanks so much for being here. The question I had for you is, what is one piece of content that you had seen an artist or a creative put out that you felt was effective, and what about it caught your eye?
With me, the content that I felt was super effective, whatever. Like I said, it's two types. And like I said to the last person, it's going to be the live performances. Because man, look, prime example, right? Your fans, and if you're doing it consistently enough, your fans will tell you what records to invest money in. Because your artists will shoot music videos and this and that, whatever, and they don't even know if that's what the hell the audience wants from them, whatever.
That's so
but
real.
if you say, and this is before you even run ads, whatever, right? Yo, just see, okay, cool. Do the I create this new song. Let me be in the studio and do a performance of it, whatever. And let's see if without ads, without nothing, if I get higher than usual engagement. If I get that, okay, this is what I'm gonna put an ad behind, and let's see what the reaction is, whatever. And that'll let me know, because prime example, the Justin Rari kid, right? Justin Rari signed to Interscope now, whatever. We recorded one song, Ops, I'm saying that song was doing crazy. Within 45 days, label started reaching out, and I was like, hold on, I'm still working my magic. We'll get back to you guys, whatever, right? So, but and from there, we had a whole project worth of songs with him, whatever. And we was like, you know what, we're gonna just release a video a month, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna, that's gonna be our plan to keep on building awareness to this kid and get him into a situation, right? But what happened was in the midst of dropping snippets of these songs, they had one night they were in the studio and they did a song called Word to Leezy, and then they put the clip up on the IG, whatever, and everybody went crazy to it. And guess what? The plan that we had in place, that's another thing, artists, you got to be flexible with this thing, yo. Your plan, be able to switch that thing out and to drop up a dime, whatever, right? So you put the Word to Leezy snippet up there, whatever. He's in the studio rocking to it. Everybody in the comment section going crazy without the ads. So that told us, okay, we need to shoot a video to this, whatever. And that was the video that basically broke him through, put him over the top for the most part. You know what I mean? So those pieces of content where it's live, it's somebody with a phone. It looks authentic. Like people are genuinely having fun for real, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones that's gonna work like crazy. I mean, and even the
Yeah.
other kid, the Saudi Arabian kid, where he's playing his guitar and just, you know, hopped out the shower, he got water dripping off of him, whatever. He's singing snippets, whatever. And boom, we run ads to that. That shit goes crazy because it's a raw element. It's real. It's like almost like amateur night at the Apollo.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's going to perform better than any music video, but you're going to need a music video because that's going to be your commercial. But those pieces of content are going to convert better anything. You see people on TikTok, they're blowing up off of like little snippets because it's authentic. It looks real. They're saying it's not no manufactured, the labels behind this, whatever, this and that. It's like we're discovering something new here, yo. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I love that advice for sure.
And that's the tea.
No doubt.
All so much for your questions. Thank you, Jens and Alonzo, for your answers. I am so excited to transition us into our listening session. Woo, let's give some snaps. It's going to be so much fun. So for context, why do we even do the listening sessions? This is a great way for artists to receive feedback from phenomenal professionals within the music industry. Okay, like Jens and Alonzo, we're dropping gems of advice, and you can receive that feedback from them. That's crazy. So cool. Next thing, it's also an opportunity for you to grow your fan base. Like as someone that's been listening to these sessions every single weekend, I can say that I listen to these playlists on repeat sometimes. So you never know what you'll get from this. And finally, it's so much fun. We start off our Saturday on a great note with some awesome music. And so, yeah, let's listen up to some pretty awesome songs. All right. Up first, we have Love Everybody by Bipolar. Can y'all see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Here we go. Hold up. That just switched songs on me. 2 seconds. Here, I'll bring it back up right now. Great. Here we go. We're gonna listen to Love Everybody by Bipolar.
We're too young to not have a party. Love anybody, fuck everybody. We're too young to not have a party. Love anybody, fuck everybody. Time goes fast, but we're moving faster. Loving much harder, we're getting harder. Time goes fast, but we're moving faster. Loving much harder, we're getting harder. Fuck anyone that's telling you different. Live your life like nobody's watching. Don't live your life for someone's entertainment. When I'm on stage, I'll say, Mama, I made it. Yeah, we got an attitude, and we don't got shit to lose. Smoking weed and drinking booze, finna end up on the news. Yeah, I got an attitude, and I don't got shit to lose. Smoking weed and drinking booze, finna end up on the news. Party like the world's gonna end. Grab your girl or grab your boyfriend. Theys and thems, not binary friends. Let's show love before the night ends. Let's go. We're too young to not have a party. Love anybody, fuck everybody. We're too young to not have a party. Love anybody, fuck everybody. Time goes fast, but we're moving faster. Loving much harder, we're getting harder. Time goes fast, but we're moving faster. Loving much harder, we're getting harder.
Whew! Bipolar, that was so good. And I saw Alonzo, Jens, I was bopping around. Alonzo and Jens, do you want to give some feedback?
I liked it, but I feel like the mix could have been a little bit better. Like I like the guitar part stood out to me, whatever. But I feel like it could have the vocals were like a little bit sunken into the beat a little bit. I feel like the vocals could have been a little bit up a little bit more, and the drum could have hit a little bit bigger. But you know, I grew up like, you know, I came up under like, you know, Duro and and more so like my ears are more geared towards like hip hop mixing or whatever for the most part. So I know certain genres the vocals can be sunken into the music a little bit more, but that's really it. But I like the song though. I mean, I just felt like it could have been mixed a little bit tighter.
Volume control a little bit, volume with the vocals, just a tighter mix so that the vocals performance is more apparent just as much as the production. So that's my only feedback on that. But the song itself as a whole, I mean, like that is for 1 minute 48 seconds. That's something that you could hear on like an ad or a nice promo. The instrumental itself, it's really good for ads, very promo ready, and yeah, just keep keep at it. That's really I loved it. I want a copy of that.
Good stuff. Awesome, awesome. We'll head into our next song, which is Insecure by I'm gonna try. Is it Hakom? I'm not sure. I apologize.
It's Jaquan McCoy.
Thank you. Well, Jacob McCoy, this is Insecure.
I never had the time. I know it's 1 + 1 and never equals right. It's just the two of us.
Okay.
It's like I'm ignorant. Everything you want, baby, you've been praying for me, but I can't see everything you're saying. Communication got lost, now we back to basics. I'm gone, I don't get it. You know that I can't let go. You know that I can't let my feelings ignore all of this tension. You know that I lack communication. I need you to be patient. You know that I'm gonna always do what's best for me. You don't agree, but you're insecure. Insecure. Oh, you're insecure.
Ooh, that was so great. Jens, Alonzo, anything
That shit was
to
hard
say?
though. That shit was hard, man. I think you need to get a cool ass video for it, a video that sets the mood and the ambiance for it. You know what I mean? I liked it. I'm ready. I'm ready to see a visual. My bad.
D'Angelo. It's like D'Angelo meets like Adult Swim meets like some nice production. It's
Right.
dope.
Yeah.
Text me your location. Type of vibes. I love it.
I'm ready to see a visual on that. Like, you know what I mean? Not even like the generic visual where it's like a R&B guy with a girl, but maybe something where somebody's just like almost an Adult Swim type of thing where somebody's doing something else that has nothing to do with the song talking about, and just having that as just having that in the background as the ambient, like, you know what I mean? That paints that picture. I think I want to see something to it. I want to see the shit moving. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing too. Visually, like, a lot of people like they'll have a good song and then they'll just do the generic regular shit with the music video. Like, nah, we could do something totally different. Maybe we could have robots fighting on some sci-fi shit and have the music play. Like, I'm not saying that specifically, but I'm just saying something that completely left field and just have the music. And I think that'll make the music stand out even more. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Definitely appreciate y'all. Thank you for that feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I'm super excited to announce our next song is Shadow by Elsie. Is Elsie in the room?
I'm here.
Nice. So happy to see you. Here we go. The Shadow.
Ooh.
2 years with no sleep. Guess I've been living the dream. I'm sinking. I've hit the bottom. searching for something to cast aside the feeling, lurking out from behind. I got this energy, I feel it haunting me. I know it's following, and now I've realized I'm a shadow of who I used to be. I'm blending in on me, never been so hollow, feeling incomplete, like I can see through me, but it's making me stronger than yesterday. I'm embracing the other me. I cannot run from reality, 'cause the shadow is me.
And that was
Oh.
Shadow by Elsie.
That shit's hard. Wait, so look, do you like listen to these records before you choose them? Because usually when I go through like listening sessions, it be going bad. You know what I mean? But these records are good. Like I haven't heard nothing that made me go like, nah, you know what I'm saying? That record's hard. Like I promise that when I be on Instagram Live, people always ask me to play records, and I don't do it specifically for that reason, because it's usually terrible records. But all these records, that record is hard, yo. I like the beat production on it. That shit is fire.
Elsie, if you're it's a vibe. The whole thing's a vibe. I'm sorry, it's a vibe. Elsie, if you're in here, email my ass. Holy shit. Damn. Oh my god.
I got you.
Where you from? Where you from, Elsie?
Today, but I'm based in LA.
Okay, yeah.
Damn.
Hard,
Yeah. Alonzo, I think I actually emailed you already, so I will just hit you up again.
Okay, cool.
Long time ago. It's good to see you.
Okay, good. Elsie, holy crap. This whole video is tea. This whole song is tea. Holy shit. Ooh! Ooh, yo, everybody about their A game. Look again, like seriously, like Jens, you do some of this shit though, or you see like the last preview. Like there's some of this stuff gets recorded right on YouTube, and I be hustling like download all those videos. I'm like, sometimes they never get their shit going. Sometimes the songs are such shit, but like this is so. See, East Coast is where we get the best of the West. If this was going on in the West Coast, this type of shit, we begin lots of like whackness. I'm just saying. Oh damn. Woo! Great job, Elsie. Great job. Woo!
Yeah, somebody said that we scream before every week. Okay, that's why the records are fire. Y'all screening. Yeah. You was a listening session thing. You got all types of like shit. Be sound like people recorded their phones and like with Motorola phones and flip phones and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Especially on Instagram, it's Instagram and Clubhouse. It's like that shit be on the flow so bad. It's like, oh god. It's like American Idol 2002. Where the 220 at? Sorry, guys. It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we all love Elsie in this room because she's phenomenal.
Fire, yo. Yeah, that's fire.
Next, we actually have Spoken Word by Nura Goddess. Super excited for y'all to hear this.
The storm continues. As the storm continues to rage outside my window pane against so many in so many ways, I must make time to be still so I can contemplate a bit, try to figure out a way to bring peace to us while we're considered still workers in the field. Otherwise we'll be caught up, lost in confusion. We won't be able to breathe.
Quiet now, I don't wanna hear a sound, not in a thing. Quiet now, lay back for a while. Can you hear the rain? Quiet now, I don't wanna hear a sound, not in a thing. Quiet now, got some things to think about.
Please just silence, I need to chill. No talking right now, I don't want to hear my name, that song. I don't want to know who else is gone. I just need some me time, haven't had any in so long. I'm tired of screaming with frustration due to daily obligations and all the challenges I keep facing. while trying to reach new elevation have all but killed my determination to succeed. That's why I ask now for isolation, so I can increase my concentration, and with the help of the Most High, light the way to set us all free. Quiet now.
Spoken word. Do
I would
y'all
say
have
this, yo. The mix is off, yo. Like nah, you gotta get it remixed, yo. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, it didn't even sound like the person even attempted to mix it. It sounded like it just went from recording to like, you know, let me download it and get it to you, whatever. So the mix needs to be done right, and I feel like they could have mixed the harmonies a little bit tighter too. You know what I'm saying? Because there were certain ones that basically just get a bit mixed over, and you're gonna be alright. The vocals was like, you know, I don't know if it was a 2-track, whatever. It sounded like maybe it was a 2-track. I'm not sure they had access to like the original, the actual beat, so you can separate and space things out better. But it definitely needs a better mix, yeah. All right.
Yeah, same. I can agree. Better mixing. Maybe like a redone of the production. The production needs to be more brighter, more tight. And the top line just has to be improved with some like probably some tech with some maybe some. It's not. I mean, I understand the concept of it. It does have like Erykah Badu, so like neo soul, kind of Jack White type of vibe. But for that type of stuff, the production does need to be more next level. Even if it just not so much that or outpass or match it, but sonically, the audience that would like this, it needs to be a bit more polishing. You know, less of a vibe, but make it more tight. Not formula, but still make it more tight.
Yeah.
You know.
Lottery by It's Julius. We have his manager here, Kyle. What's up? We're happy to have you here.
What up, Kyle? It's good.
How we doing, everybody?
Am I?
We actually just signed It's Julius to Finesse Media.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Woo! We love expanding the collective. So here is
Fire.
Lottery.
Ooh.
What's your name?
It's Julius.
I've been through it all. I know the pain. So tell me if you take it all away. Keep it 100, say that you'll reciprocate for me.
Fire.
I've been in this game, I know the plays. You got me leaving all my playaways. With you, it feels like I won the lottery. Hey, I've been down low, like I'm running out of luck. I let my calls fall. Bad karma caught up 3 6s. But you showed up like a genie with 3 wishes. You work like a 9 to 5, spending my time. I'm rich when you're here by my side. I'd put it all on the line. I'm rolling the dice. I'll bet that you stay in my life. I've been through it all. I know the pain. So tell me if you take it all away. Keep it 100, say that you'll reciprocate for me. I've been in this game, I know the plays. You got me leaving all my playaways. With you, it feels like I won the lottery. Lay your head down on my pillow, put some kisses on my neck. Ride this pony like a rodeo, won't let you catch your breath. It's that energy you're giving me. I'm winning, I'll take all bets. Every boss needs a right hand, and girl, I'm standing on your left. Hey, when I'm with you, I'm always winning.
It's hard to pause some of these songs.
Oh damn!
It's like, yo, look, y'all saw the reaction that Alonzo had like after hearing like one note. That's how you know you got a record, because
I know
it don't take that long to know something's fire. Like literally, first note, first like beat, vocal, boom, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Who this? Who this? Yo, email me this. Who the fuck is this? Damn. Ooh, it's like Ali Gotti meets like, you know, Mazari meets like freaking like Kim Cesarian type shit. But ooh, it's more better. Damn. It's popping. It's popping.
Yeah, I like it. Fire.
Yeah, look at this chat open. Let me open this chat. Damn. There we go. It's hot.
Ooh. No question about it. That's it.
Thank you. He did everything too. He made the beat, mixed, mastered.
Yeah, yo, when I hear shit like that, that makes me go, yeah. Like when I'm looking to like partner up with an artist or take an artist, like, yo, That's what I look for. When I hear like, okay, the song is good, great. We got somebody who can make songs, whatever. But the minute I hear they producing it too, and that's somebody you can bet the house on. You know what I mean? Because you could just put them in this space, and they're gonna create all the time. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and you artists of the future, like, man, there's people out there. I'm running across them every day now, like these triple threats who know how to record themselves, who can mix and create. So like, man, it's about to get real competitive out here, man.
I swear when this pandemic is done in the next like 5 years or 10 years, we'll have like a whole catalog. I'm just saying, like,
man,
oh my God, yo, this is hot. This fire. Damn.
Good stuff.
Thank you all so much.
I'm so excited to end our listening session for the day with the one and only Lottie. Hit your head.
Hi.
Oh.
Here we go. Oh, let me refresh the page. And then we'll listen to it.
Oh, Samira.
Here we go.
Already.
Used to say word is bond, but it ain't though. At least not for you, guess you never got the memo. I spent too many fucking years trying to bend over backwards. And yet here we are again, still tripping off the same stuff. Damn, what is it? Why can't you fix it? Why don't you listen? Still got you slipping, you steady tripping and double dipping and taking digits from random bitches. I done had enough. You can leave out the door, it's open for ya. Grab your clothes out the drawer, I'll fold them for ya. You ain't gotta stay, ain't nobody holding up a gun. Understand? Go ahead and pack it up, this shit is over. Maybe I done had enough, so get to rolling. As you leave out the front, boy, just don't let the door hit your head. Oh, what is it now? Still feeling for me.
Yo,
damn.
Yo, them lyrics was crazy, yo. Like,
thank you.
Yeah, them lyrics was fucking insane, yo.
She don't need the hype. Everybody thinks she out here looking for hype. She don't need to. She don't need to. Check out her fucking resume. Oh, she spilled some. Oh, that's fire.
That shit hard, yo.
This woke me up.
Appreciate you guys.
And the lyrics was like really hitting. Like you just had a lot of shit that like, yeah, this is authentic. This is what motherfuckers really going through and how they really fit. Like, you know what I mean? You know? Yeah.
You definitely trying to work on the visual for it.
Yo, visuals gotta be super fucking fire.
I know it has to be. It has to be. It gotta be in your face. This gotta be. This is like if Doja Cat was doing a ballad. This is what she'd be doing. I just know it. You know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Yeah, man. You gotta bring that shit to life for real. Like, so don't even. Man, the thing about videographers, yo, there's motherfuckers who just got cameras out here. Find somebody who really knows how to bring the vision to fucking life, and whatever it costs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
spend the money on a record like this.
Yeah, for real. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lottie, is that out already?
No, this is a demo. This is technically for like shopping.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm about to say, there's a demo. That's fine.
Oh, girl. So this too. Ooh, it's hot. It's hot. Damn.
Appreciate you.
Good stuff. Well, that was the last of our songs. What did y'all think about today's listening session? Can I get a woo woo? Just a little.
Woo. Let them know. With the woo woo.
Well, it's time for us to wrap up for today's events. Let's give a massive thank you to our amazing panelists, Jens the Guru and Alonzo Sosa. Snaps to you all.
Yo, all the artists on here, follow me on IG and let me know y'all was in here. I'll follow y'all back. I definitely want to keep up with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Content that y'all release in the future. And anybody who writing songs too, I know artists, you know what I'm saying? I know, just connect with me, whatever. Let's see if we can bust up some money together or whatever.
And that's perfect because we have a contact sheet with everyone that's been on this call. Thank you, Jenna, for dropping that. We appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. And if you liked this event and are interested in the Finesse Media community, join Finesse VIPs. A link will be dropped in a minute. Next week, Finesse Media will be hosting a Pride event discussing the queer representation in music, hosted by me and Justine Perez. So make sure to tune in next Saturday, same time, for this awesome celebration of life. Lex, was there anything that you wanted to add before we head out?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Jens and Alonzo, thank you so much. I think you brought the energy up so much in this room.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you. And Jens, I've got Blair's contact info, so hopefully we can collab on more stuff. Same with you, Alonzo. Thank you all so much for joining us, and to everybody in the audience. If you would like to be a part of our events, we host this on a week-to-week basis every single Saturday, 12 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So Alonzo or Jens, anything that you want to add before we hop off?
No, I'm just, I'm happy to be here. I love talking about marketing. I could do this I could have been here 8 hours talking straight about this shit. So anytime I get an opportunity to speak, talk about my experiences in the state, whatever, it's always a blessing to me. And I appreciate you guys for having me. Thank you. And thank you to Clutch. Thank you, Blair, for making this happen. And yeah, let's go.
Cool.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for helping me be a part of this. It's been a minute since I've done something like this, and everybody, bring your A game. Listen, the cream will rise to the top. I know that sounds really cliche, and granted, that may not be true now because of social media and internet and entrepreneurship and what you see on Instagram. But don't be fooled by that nonsense. Focus on better music, better craft. Focus on being a better mixer, a masterer. Focus on being a better businesswoman, businessman, or LGBTQ or whatever you come from. Just continue to making music, because there are people who are operating at a level that is just complete crap and they're getting deals. So you can get the same deals if you finesse with good music, good artistry, and you do the same type of shit that they be doing. So hustle your streams, finesse the system, spend the money now so you don't worry later. Get everything on lock and just be ready to have a conversation. Don't be afraid to talk and advocate for your artistry. Be your own A&R for a minute though, and just do it. And you know what? We love to see it. We love to see it. We love to see it, yo.
And that's the tea, everybody.
And that's the gag and the gag.
All right, everybody. Happy Saturday. Thank you again so much for joining us. Have a wonderful 3-day weekend. Bye, y'all.
It's Memorial Day weekend. Oh, damn. That's what's up. Peace.